Hello there, Brick Fanatics. Today the LEGO Group has shown off the brand new Collector's Edition The Burrow, the latest in the large, detailed, adult-oriented Harry Potter collection. And it does look a little bit familiar. Okay, so this is the Burrow Collectors Edition, which contains 2,405 elements and retails at £220. This is the retired Attack on the Burrow, which retired in 2022, contains 1,047 elements and cost £90 in the United Kingdom. So then the new set contains a bit more than double the number of elements than the new one and costs a bit more than double the price of the old one. So more or less what you would expect from a collector's edition set. A bigger, more fleshed out, more detailed version of a set that previously was available for children and is now aimed at adults. For that extra money and for those extra elements, you don't get a much larger set, it has to be said. The previous Attack on the Burrow is 34 centimeters high when you measure it, and the back of the box says that the new The Burrow Collector's Edition is going to be 46 centimeters tall. So you're not getting a huge difference in height between these two sets, and I think where a lot of those elements are going are, for one thing, in a level of detail that we wouldn't have had at a more child-oriented set, but also with this clamshell design so that the entire burrow can be represented, and then you can open it up to get in there and play with it, as opposed to the old The Burrow, where instead it just had some walls that were bare so that you could just immediately reach in there and you didn't have anything to kind of complete the look on the back of it. None of this is hugely out of the ordinary for either Harry Potter or for the wider LEGO IP experience. It's very similar to Star Wars and how you would get, for example, an X-Wing with a relatively small piece count that's aimed at a child, and then the Ultimate Collector Series X-Wing aimed at an adult with a greater level of detail and a much larger structure. So it's clear that with this, as with many elements of the LEGO Harry Potter brand, it seems that the LEGO Group is attempting to take what works from Star Wars and apply it to Harry Potter as well. Case in point, the fact that Harry Potter's Back to Hogwarts Day is now getting its own annual release with something big and chunky for adults, which is following the same formula as May the 4th has done for many, many years with the Ultimate Collector series. What's interesting is that unlike LEGO Star Wars, which tends to follow a very traditional and set-in-stone formula for these larger builds that come out on the anniversary or the special holiday for this particular brand, with Harry Potter's Collector's Edition sets, things tend to be a little bit more wild and loose and free. Yes, The Burrow is very similar to a previous The Burrow, in the same way that the Collector's Edition Hogwarts Express is very similar to Hogwarts Expresses that have been available at a lower price point. But then you get things like the Hogwarts Moments Collector's Edition, which is just a fabulous brick-built owl and a bunch of books and a bunch of different little things. Really, really inventive and clever. Or then last year we got Gringotts, which ostensibly is an expansion of Diagon Alley, but also goes all the way underground and gives you a far more fleshed out building than you would have for any one building within Diagon Alley. Just absolutely amazing in terms of its architecture and in terms of the engineering job that prevents it from just kind of wobbling and falling over. I suppose now's the moment I use my my visual aid for wobbling and falling over Lego sets again. The fact that the LEGO Group is so willing to experiment with the Harry Potter Collector's Edition sets is an absolute benefit to the theme in general, because it means that you never know quite what you're going to get. And it would be kind of a shame if we ended up being locked into this approach of just doing a more fleshed out version of something that we've seen before for this series going forward, because absolutely the coolest stuff that we've had from the Harry Potter Collector's Edition sets has been when it's been something a little bit off kilter, something that stands out and is particularly just odd in its approach and therefore feels a lot more fresh. The Burrow, I don't want to come down as particularly negative on it just in terms of its appearance and because it's something that we've had before, but it has to be said that there's not quite as much ingenuity here as there have been with some of the Collector's Edition sets in the past. So there will be a video coming on this in the near future, but this is one of the many different iterations of the Hogwarts Castle and how the LEGO Group has approached the modular design of a larger Hogwarts Castle that can be built up out of multiple littler sets. So one of the fun things about this potions class is that it folds down into a neat, very contained package, which can then be slotted into a wider Hogwarts build. And that's really neat. And this is not even the first time that the LEGO Group has attempted to make various different types of Hogwarts castles that all kind of slot together to build something as a whole. What's really interesting is how much the LEGO Group is willing to just say, right, okay, we're done with this particular iteration of Hogwarts, let's start again, let's try something else, let's try building a completely different version of this and see what else we can come up with. I love how the Harry Potter theme in general it will evolve and it will change over time, and if something isn't quite working, the LEGO Group will say, all right, let's start again. It feels like with Harry Potter in general, the LEGO Group is aware that the audience for the smaller sets are coming in and buying and playing with these for a while and then moving on to something else, and so they're almost there are these generational waves of LEGO Harry Potter fans, and so it feels like the LEGO Group is saying, okay, so by this point we're on to a new generation of LEGO Harry Potter fans, we can start over, we can do this again, but let's see how we can do it slightly differently. Where something like LEGO Star Wars, you get the same ships over and over and over. You will always have an X-Wing, you will always have a Millennium Falcon, and while you do get some things like the Dark Falcon occasionally that just mix things up a bit, ultimately there's not a huge difference between an X-Wing from the last couple of years, or 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago. Like, they're all basically the same model and not much is done to change the way that they're put together. Unlike Harry Potter, which will just go at things from a slightly different angle every time that they refresh these. I think it's also worth pointing out that more so perhaps with Harry Potter than with LEGO Star Wars or with any other brand IP partner that the LEGO Group is working with, there's no real delineation between sets that are designed for play and therefore accessible for younger fans as well, and sets that are more aimed at display and primarily aimed at adults. Yes, you get that 18+ branding still, but I think most people tend to ignore that anyway with LEGO, and I feel like that is especially true with Harry Potter. So you've got sets like the Diagon Alley, which is massive and sprawling, and I think for most younger fans the most prohibitive part of the entire experience is just that price tag, but there's nothing in these sets that feels particularly inaccessible to younger fans who want to just get in there and play, or who want to build something and enjoy the wonderful majesty of this set. But then you get kind of additions to that set. You've got, for example, Ollivanders and Madame Malkins, which is ostensibly aimed at a younger audience, but works very well within the established 18+ kind of architecture that has been designed for the larger Diagon Alley set. I genuinely think it's commendable that the LEGO Group have found a way of making these sets both adult-friendly and kid-friendly in a way that we don't see with the Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars sets, which are definitely more for adults, and definitely more for display rather than being playthings. And so I feel like the Burrow fits very nicely with the kind of level of design that we're seeing from some of these other LEGO Harry Potter sets, even the ones that are aimed at adults, because it can be just as accessible for a younger fan. It can be accessible for anybody who wants to play rather than display. It's going to be great for a wide variety of different LEGO Harry Potter fans with different LEGO Harry Potter needs. I feel like, and this is completely anecdotally, there is a big difference in the way that my friends who are adult fans of LEGO just interact with the LEGO Harry Potter theme as opposed to the LEGO Star Wars theme. So I have several adult friends of LEGO who collect the Ultimate Collector Series sets and have them on display in their homes and are very proud of them and say, these are not for children to touch. These are to stay on the shelf pristine and wonderful and gorgeous as you would expect if you're spending £400 on a LEGO set. And then I've got friends who are into LEGO Harry Potter and they go at it a completely different direction because they've got kids and they built Diagon Alley with their kids and they're involved in that process of just play and display at the same time. So the sets are all lined up on a row, all of the Diagon Alley and kind of extended selection of sets, and they look wonderful on display, but their kids are also very allowed to get their hands all over these things, take them down, play with them, move the minifigures around, just actually treat these as toys as well as something that is on display. And that is, as I say, completely anecdotal. It is just the case with one or two families that I'm aware of, but at the same time I can definitely see how Lego Harry Potter lends itself a bit better to family play and to family kind of enjoyment, all ages enjoyment of these toys, as opposed to the approach taken with the Ultimate Collector series, which is very much more no kids allowed. Again, just anecdotally, Harry Potter and Star Wars are definitely very popular on the playground still. This is something that I see regularly with my own kids as I take them to school and talk with their friends. Yes, those are definitely two brands that kids are very well aware of and are definitely going to be enjoying in Lego form. And I can definitely see a scenario where perhaps it is enthusiasm from kids that are then pushing parents to embrace the Harry Potter Collector's Edition sets and really enjoy them in a way that maybe an adult might not do if they didn't have a kid that was also super duper into Harry Potter. I know, for example, a 9-year-old girl who is very, very excited for the Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition and wants that particular set rather than the slightly smaller, slightly more affordable one. She's willing to save up the extra money for the large 18 plus set because she wants all those extra minifigures, and that's enough of a reason for her to throw a lot of extra money into that set. So all of that being the case, I feel like the new The Burrow Collector's Edition is going to fit in very nicely with the other LEGO Harry Potter Collector's Edition sets, and those sets that are aimed not just at a younger or an older audience, but kind of aimed at everybody all at the same time. And there will definitely be a lot of younger LEGO Harry Potter fans who are going to be wanting this one very much, especially given that the older Burrow is no longer available. And there are plenty of opportunities for other staples of the LEGO Harry Potter theme to get the Collector's Edition treatment in years to come. Imagine, like, for example, a very detailed, very large Ford Anglia, which is one of those things that is just always there in the Harry Potter catalogue and will probably get a larger, beefier treatment at some point in the future. That said, I do feel like the LEGO Group has landed on a strategy here for LEGO Harry Potter that allows them to sell the most LEGO sets possible, not just the large ones but also the small ones, in effectively blurring the boundaries between sets that are for grown-ups and sets that are for kids, sets that are for display and sets that are for play. Because these sets can be anything to anyone, they're just a little bit more desirable than they would be otherwise if they were locked into one specific use. I can only hope that other themes take inspiration from LEGO Harry Potter, because personally, as much as I appreciate that the 18 plus branding is important for getting new adult fans into LEGO for the first time and making them feel like they're not just picking up a children's toy, it does feel a little bit restrictive sometimes in terms of making these sets available and accessible to the widest possible audience. Ultimately, whether you're 8 years old or 80 years old, LEGO should be for everyone, and there's definitely things that an 8-year-old will do with a LEGO set that can inspire somebody who is older just as much as an older person can teach a younger person about LEGO. We can all benefit from everybody having better access to LEGO. That then is the Burrow's Collector's Edition. Let us know your thoughts on this set and whether or not you'll be picking it up yourself in the comments down below. Now, make sure that if you are going to be purchasing this set or any other set from lego.com in the near future, that you use the affiliate link, which is down in the description, or the QR code that is currently on screen, which takes you straight to the LEGO website. We get a little bit of the percentage when you make a sale through that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps to keep the lights on at Brick Fanatics. Otherwise, make sure you do all of the rest of the YouTube things that you already know by this point. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and the notification bell, and make sure that you go to brickfanatics.com for all of your LEGO news and reviews, and sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything LEGO related ever again. Thank you very much for watching.